taking it from the top. Welcome back to some professional Starcraft 2. A grudge match between Nina and Kiwian. Two of the most entertaining players in the entire game. These two. Well known for their creative Jimmy! Ah! How many? We'll get there. Okay, no. What am I paying you for? Oh, no. Alright, yes, we're there, we made it. You had one job. Finally. In the bottom left, the new and improved puck, Nina. Fighting for Team Exxon, led by Drickett. And professional streamer, formerly professional player. And all-around entertainer, it is Kiwian. The leader of, the captain, the king, the duke of Team Kimchi. A best of 3. A fan putting up $50. I'm not. What was the name? Who did? If I could get a name, give me an IH. I don't know who it was, but a generous and tasteful person, encouraging these two to duke it out. Now, unfortunately, the blue probes and the pink SCVs are, I mean, I can distinguish between a probe and an SCV, but these are not the most strong colors here on Golden Wall. And it is customary, as you all know, for me to just complain about whatever colors the players pick or change or whatever happens in between. Haru. Oh my god, now everybody is doing it. TY did it, Special did it, now Kiwian's doing it. A proxy factory. This is a proxy factory starport build. This is like half of TVPs in this, half of TVPs on this map. I've seen this. And I think Nina has as well, as she sends the probe directly to the factory. Hello, sir! Unfortunately, though, the SCV RNGesus has graced him. Yeah. I watched Special, too. Let's see if we can bring up Kiwi on stream for a moment. Shiba. That is his response. So, the factory doesn't finish. And, good Stumria snipe. Of course, Kiwian knows he's doing a build that, like, essentially, the last 3 or 4 major Terran versus Protoss matches have been this build. Oh no, the Adept is here. Gonna go for the factory will never finish. Nina seizing the memes of production. Going straight for, oh, misclick 1. But, she gets the SCV last second. But the factory is still not done. By the time the factory actually, like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What is the plan here? Even if the factory finishes now, it's too late. Like, this has gone on for too long. He could have built another factory in his base and had it finished by now. I don't know. He was very committed to the proxy build, but it's going to be a tech lab factory on the low ground? Is this like a... No, wait. Yeah, that's a tech lab. I know what a tech lab looks like. I'm not dumb. Well, not mutually exclusive, but... Now, the probe. Looking for an... Oh my god. She's gonna be able to warp in stalkers! It's already... The suspicions are there. It's pretty obvious where the factory was gonna go if it wasn't gonna be remaining in that location. The Marines kind of just waltz on in. Starting to kill some probes off. 3 probes. Not the end of the world. 4 probes. But acceptable losses here. And the Marines are dead. So what is there back at home? There's going to be a tank. But the tank is here on the low ground. Blink is on the way. Dark Templar already being warped in. No hope There's no detection. There's no scans. There's no stopping this Dark Templar. It's gonna slice through everything, even if Kiwian sees it immediately. And he does. Raises the depot. There's still not going to be a scan for quite a while. And even when there is a scan, what's going to stop the Templar? The medevac comes in with an evacuation, but it can't evacuate everyone. The Dunkirk of Kiwian here gets most of the SCVs out, but it just delays the inevitable. There's a tank in no man's land here. Quite literally, not a single unit of Kiwians besides the tanks. And the DT just walks away from the scan. The other scan is on a base that's going to have to lift. Or not, or just die. Those are the options. Kiwian lost the orbital! It's a disaster! Well, Kiwian decides to do the most obvious build. That anyone has done in TVP. But I can't believe he went for that. It's been like 3 high-profile matches in a row that players have done that. You gotta have like a different build. The thing is, those pro matches where it did work, I'm so surprised at, like, just dropping Hellions in and killing, like, 15 probes. It's too... The allure is so much that I guess you gotta give it a shot. Like, if you do get the Hellions in, they kind of slaughter the whole mineral line. There are spots you can drop the Hellions that they won't be spotted while dropping. Eternal Empire. Okay, let's calm down. Have a nice macro game. I'm sure both these players will play a nice, safe macro build. Yes. That is definitely what they're known for. You know, sending out a probe at the start of the match. This is something Zest does just to be super annoying. Because probes... Like, what is the most annoying unit in the game? Think about it. A lot of people would say, like, Mutas or Reapers or even, like, DTs. No. The source of by far the most annoyance across the board is the probe. Hi. Oh my god, don't do it. Don't you do it. No. No. The most maximum packs. Oh. Wait. Oh, okay. It's a Macarax versus the Max Packs. It looks like our macro hacks will no longer be the correct tracks as we go into this series of cheese with minimal facts. Both of them their scouting has definitely been lax. And at some point, one of these players is going to have to pay the tax. As we see whether or not the Max Packs will get into the main and force Kiwian to leave the match and lose his money. Okay, Pylon on the high ground. It isn't a proxy gate. I mean, it is a proxy gate, but it isn't a proxy Rex. But I don't know if that's actually better. Because the pylon makes it a lot more difficult to wall off here, obviously. The probe just kind of chilling, hanging out. But the Reaper is close enough to the main that it's going to create an awkward scenario. And the Cyber Core isn't particularly quick. This is just Zealots. I mean, I'm not going to be super happy to see this Reaper. The bamboozling. The Zealot will just go... Oh, what? Was that the probe? It got knocked into the air and it just landed down? Oh, that might have been a meal drop. I don't know. The Zealot waiting for its opportunity. Gonna try to take a command center, which is... Oh, but wait! There's more! This wasn't just for funsies! There's a Zealot now! The Cyber Core's about to finish. Sure, the Reaper does okay against the Zealot, but it can take a whole lot of hits before going down. There's another zealot. Wait, where did that one come from? Oh my.
Surprise, motherfucker.
A couple Reapers will deal with this, but there's about to be an Adept, and remember, there isn't a wall. Unfortunately, though, there is a Hellion coming out. If the Zealot survives long enough that the Adept can actually get a Shade off, otherwise this could be pretty dicey here. The Shade comes out, chasing down the Reaper. It could. This is the weird amount of math here. It's not going to pan out. A Stalker is building. A Reaper and a Hellion do not do particularly much damage to a Pylon. Nina looking to expand now, but has she done enough? No, this has not done enough. The Macarex, the hidden barracks as opposed to a proxy made the difference, I think. Because that's why you invest in Zealots early, is because you don't think there's going to be any units in their base, right? But in this case, the Reaper being already in the base as the first Zealot came in made all the difference here. The Pylon, the SCV, has a long road ahead of him. Getting no help. It's just on his own eventually. The work will be finished. There is one Observer and one Stalker here. Those are all of the units Nina has. Now 2 Stalkers. You see, I'm very good at commentating. I can look at the screen. I can tell you how many units are there. I can tell you what those units are called. Like, what else do you want from me? There's also Robotics Bay. Remember the gateway, I guess there is an option. At some point, it could be repowered by a Warp Prism. We've actually seen, speaking of, is it going to be Colossus or Disruptor Drop? I'm gonna Colossus. Because Colossus does have more potential to just generally help out. You know, well known for those Colossus drops. We will see what's queued up. But a Widowmine drop is coming in. Gravitic Drive is on the way. The Widowmine drop has to be dealt with. The probes are pulled. It's a little dicey. A little bit too slow. 6 kills. But oh no, that's not doing a little target practice there. But unfortunately, that means the medevac will get out. It is going to be a Ruptor now that some probes have gone down. The Observer spotting things out. Kiwian just a couple workers behind now. Which, with mules, is going to put him in a pretty comfortable spot. Now, the Robo Bay was spotted. I don't know how much it's going to register there. But the Robo Bay gives away a lot of information. Now, what can Kiwian do against it? He's already gotten a Raven. Going for Bio. Tank on the way. The first couple Disruptor hits are going to be everything. If the Disruptors are able to find some solid connections and either hit Kiwian's economy or his fighting capability, and by fighting capability, I mean his units, then Nina has plenty of space to work with. But if the Disruptor gets either 1, shot down, 2, minimal hits, Kiwian's coming together. He's in about a minute, a little over, with Stim and Combat Shields finishing. Whoa! 13 probes. It looks like a Widowmine drop. Just hit the natural. Oh, that's a disaster for Nina. This Disruptor now has so much on its shoulders. And it's a Disruptor. It doesn't even have shoulders. 42 to 30 workers. No third command center. That might be the only good thing happening here. Stream snipe. Exactly. That's how Widowmine drops work. Now, the dicey thing is, if you use the tactical chat, shots fired! SCV, 5 kills. Not bad. Pick that thing up. Because an interference matrix could... Kiwian, not unlikely that he was typing something out. The timing, quite beautiful there. You gotta get out of there. Oh, the Marines are gonna help. The damage! That's a lot of damage! The Warp Prism speed does make a lot of the difference here, though. Stim and Combat Shields are done, so that wasn't enough. That doesn't save the day. Nina with a Florencio expansion, not a surprising or bad move, I think, in this scenario, where you're really relying... This is classic Nina here. Just relying on the game getting weird. Oh, watch out for that. Yeah. Interference Matrix, a serious danger. How many times? Like, Nina probably has a higher base trade to game ratio than almost any professional player. Like, Parting, Nina... There's a lot of Protoss on this list for some reason. Maru, kind of, but it usually doesn't come to that. At some point, things are gonna get weird. And they already are here, to be honest. The scan, it's gonna spot the disruptor drop. Interference matrix could ruin everything. Trying to bait out an interference matrix, I think, is what's happening here. There are 2 on the Raven, because if you get interference matrixed after the disruptors drop, then you can't pick them back up for 11 seconds, which is an eternity in a scenario like this. Blink is done. Nina, gonna maneuver. Oh, God! Okay, I'm just stressing out, okay? Clips a couple Marines. Gonna need a lot more than that, but the Blink Stalkers, meanwhile, drop at the back. 3 batteries at the front, 0 behind. Oh, the Hellion lives as it spots the recall. Going for the medevac. Not going to be enough. The bingo strategy out of Nina. She's going for both corners. Just needs Kiwian's main for the automatic bingo victory. Meanwhile, the War Prism warps in a couple Stalkers to intercept. There's a... What? Why? There... I'm not sure anyone knows there's a disruptor here, but there's a scouting Ruptor, which maybe not the best unit for scouting, but you can never be too careful. Why is there a disruptor here? I still would like to reiterate this. Wait. Oh, the disruptor moves in. Nobody expects the Ruptor. Kiwian. Oh, no. But when you scout this base, this is a decoy. This is a decoy base. Because if you scout that base, you never expect the bottom right base. A genius move out of Nina. The only problem here is actually having units. That's going to be an issue. She's got 11 Stalkers and 4 Disruptors, which... look at the supply. There are a lot of fun moves, but this base hasn't been spotted, but the medevacs are on their way out. Recall is still on cooldown for a minute or so, and now this is a real problem. Just when it looked like some progress was being made, Disruptors point blank, double barrel shotgun blast, 11 SCV kills, trying to save the corner base. The Stalkers may be able to pick off the medevacs at a key timing. We will see. Waiting for their moment. Now, the Stalkers can't actually fight this very well on their own. Oh, a Disruptor might help, though. Oh, where's the Blinks? That's a great question. A couple Stalkers make it. Meanwhile, though, oh, is there enough Blink? Where's the Blink cooldown? They just blinked a little forward. Not quite enough. The Disruptor's blasting again. 6 more kills. Kiwian down to 46 workers. He's got... over 50 more army supply. At some point, you just gotta go across the map. And the damage is actually starting to be done for Nina. She's actually finding SCV kills, and now, here comes Kiwian. Honestly, even if the 4 Disruptors on the table right now all connect beautifully... Oh, 1 shot. Not really finding it. A second one. A bit of a whiff. The Raven? Where is the Raven? Full energy on the Raven. There's not much time. You got to get as many Oh, watch out, watch out! As many Disruptor hits as possible. But the War Prism is also so... No! War Prism just dies. Double interference matrix. Here comes Kiwian, tearing through everything. Okay, a lot of... The base trade never came together. At some point, you do actually have to have units. So, Kiwian embracing that wisdom. Nina, not as committed to it. So, we will see. Going into Game 3. No matter the efforts of Major Herschel or Commander Aaron. The Widowmine drops. This has been historically Nina's issue. Widowmine drops have always done too much damage to her. Like, for someone who's very multitasking oriented and always all over the map with a whole lot of moving parts, Widowmine drops are definitely an Achilles heel. That, well, I mean, a lot of Protoss have issues, but you just can't be losing like 6, 7, 8 probes or more to a Widowmine drop that you know is coming. Like, you see it, you have time to react, you can't be losing that many probes. It's just not something you can allow to happen and still pull off these kind of strategies. Nina says, you pick the most basic maps. I think that's an insult. And Kiwian does not respond. Just go, 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 go. As we get down to it, the match getting focused now. Both players 1 game away. That's how it works. That's how best of 3 works. But I'm here to do the math for you, so you don't have to. And you might be like, well, Winter, what else are you going to do for me? One thing I can't do for you is click that like and subscribe button. Ring the bell, and you might be like, Winter, I'm on Twitch. All I can do is put a kappa in the chat. Well, look up there. There's a bell as well. Because you didn't know that, did you? Mm-hmm. If you want to be annoyed by going live notifications every single day, make sure to slap it. Everyone building their first buildings in their base, so already not nearly as fun as last game. Mm-hmm. Kiwian not responding. Nina trying to break out the chat meta here. We will see. Last time there was tactical chat, the disruptors came in. Oh, the probe! A murderer! But the SCVs come down.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
An eye for an eye, a probe for an SCV. But I'd say that's definitely a victory for the probe. Okay, because in this scenario, you've scouted, the barracks is in the base. And what timing it's at as well. The barracks being in the base already gives you information. Having a scouting probe show up doesn't give you any information besides, yes, they are indeed Protoss, if you're Kiwian. So, despite killing each other, the net information and slight delay on the barracks. A resounding victory for the American Protoss. What is this going to be? Are you going to build something, Kiwian? Or are you going to go, like, this feels like a disjointed Hellion build. Or is it? Nina? What are we going to see? Twilight Council? Twilight Council. Twilight Council. Widowmine on the way. The Widowmine drop was wholly successful last time. Are we going to see maybe some armory? Do it. No, that's a depot. Okay. I was convinced for a second. The Widowmine slams the Adept before it can throw any shade. Nina will have to reserve that for the chat for now. I'd like to see the armory, like, cloak mine drop builds. I don't know if it's worth the investment early on. I don't know if Kiwian is particularly keen on going for mech to follow it up either. Blink, of course. Thanks, parting. It's always Blink. Except when it isn't. Even when it isn't, it probably should have been. So, Blink it is. 3 Marines waiting for their opportunity. I guess this could put, well, at least ward away like stalkers and such. Not exactly sure what they're looking for. Widowmine drop on the way. Siege tank. Tech lab starport. What else is in the production tab, Winter? I'm glad you asked. A barracks. A robotics facility. A Raven. Another stalker. And Blink about halfway done. But the combo attack is coming together. The Marines are... oh, they're kind of... okay, they decide not to go. Blink isn't done, but this time the Widowmine drop. Oh, the Widowmines themselves being targeted. The probes. A little late on the pulls, but... not the best hits. Actually, that was only... well, that was only 1 kill. Okay, much better than last time. Losing a stalker. Didn't get the medevac, but... I called that... well, that was way better than losing, say, 6 probes. And the mines getting out. So... But here comes Kiwian loading up another round. But this means he doesn't have nearly as many Marines at home. Keep that in mind. There's only a single tank. The bunker isn't even done yet. The hallucinated Phoenix. Looking for an opportunity. The Stalkers. The Stalkers, they want that tank. I'm sure they do. Oh! Draws a hit. Goes for the Raven. Drop towards the main. There's not enough energy for recall, but there will be momentarily. More Stalkers going to work. Tank goes down. Recall on the Stalkers. Picks up into the medevac. One blink. The recall is to the wrong base. A classic mistake, but it doesn't matter because the medevac gets blunked on. In fact, the recall may have been a little preemptive. The Stalkers themselves handled it. Wait. But I saw the recall animation. Well, actually, no. The recall was spotted in Kiwian's main. He was reacting to that, but it was already too late. Third base on the way. Nina looking good so far. She's got most of the infrastructure you want in the early mid-game to get up to 3 bases. We're going to be looking for more gateways added on. That's happening right now. Upgrades, that's happening right now. Charge, that's already on the way. There's no tank here. Targeting down a Marauder. The only real threat to this army besides the tanks right now. Is there an observer? Indeed there is. Nina's still going to be sharking around. There's a bunker on the high ground, but the Blink Stalkers could maybe get to the edge of the main. It's a little uncomfortable, but the depot will draw some fire. The tank gets a few shots, well, 2 shots off. Just doing whatever you can. Meanwhile, Kiwian struggling with the strategy brought back, having a dramatic resurgence because of his Team Kimchi teammate, who has strong opinions about Kiwian. But parting, of course. Those Blink Stalkers, parting showing that that tool should never have been set down and instead sharpened and used even more aggressively. And Nina really embracing that as well. Kiwian bringing things together. He's got a 3rd command center. Medevacs are finally done. Nina, plenty of vision. As we all know, the map can be dark and full of Terrans. But when you have this much map vision, it's almost like map hacks. Maybe we'll have to call in the team. We'll see. But 2 medevacs are coming out. How long before they're spotted? That's the question. The army's moving out. The Stalkers are kind of off to the side. A probe spotted the double drop. Did Nina actually notice? Well, she definitely noticed now. Meanwhile, the attack at the front. The army supply is actually in favor of Kiwian slightly here. The army composition as well, considering +1 attack. Well, actually, +1 and combat shield aren't that close. They're going to be almost at the same time as +1 armor. So not really any advantages to work with. Yep. The luckiest probe of all time. Survive through that. Another double drop heading out. Is there vision? There's no vision. It just got cleared up here. So far, the double drops haven't been sniped off or anything, and that's a key point. You know, most of the army heading across the map, the double drop holding his base is everything here. The tanks, if they're not sieged, that's how games end. So, a double drop to the far right. The command center. Gonna do some push-ups here at the very least. A double drop to the left as well. I think that one got spotted out, but another double drop. That one has to do some damage. The Blink Stalker's coming back. A handful of charge lots. Not really able to close the distance here. A bit disjointed. The Stalker's looking to flank, but another drop is coming in. Heading straight towards the main. Oh, the forges, the Robo Bay, the Robo, and a lot of the gateway production is very exposed here. Is there a recall? There's no energy for a recall. The double drop is heading in towards the 3rd. Kiwian striking strongly at Nina's base. Infrastructure, upgrades, all incredibly important. Getting the forges in the most vulnerable possible location. +1 attack denied. The medevacs are not going to make it out, I don't think. Why does everybody keep putting their goddamn forges there? Anywhere else? Meanwhile, these medevacs are pinned in. Do they want a slow death or do they want a quick one? They choose the quick one. Meanwhile, another forge should be built. Of course, it's going to be slightly less vulnerable, but only slightly. Kiwian has ground out a good... Well, he's made up some ground here, at the very least. Nina was kind of relying on those upgrades, catching up and relying on this less cost-effective unit composition, but just brute force. when you don't really have the upgrades. The thing is, Kiwian only has +1 attack, so I take it all back. With only +1 attack and no armor on the way, despite sniping the upgrades, now, like, if he was getting more upgrades, that would have been worth it. But he's not getting +1 armor. He's just now getting the armory to be able to get +2 attack. There's not going to be any upgrade advantage. It just stalls out for a time, and then Nina's going to be catching up and overtaking. So far, Kiwian looking for, I guess, just a very good maxed out army composition, but then he starts the +1 armor, a classic mistake. This is an angry coach, but I have some commentary. We've all been there, but +1, +2 for Nina. She's got 4 bases, including the rich Vespine center base. Not mining it yet, but that's going to be very helpful as we all take a moment to contemplate. I love that live experience. Okay, just making sure we can figure out what is gonna happen. The standoff, the drama.
Game resumed.
Meanwhile, this observer spotting the potential attack to the north. I don't know if Kiwian realizes, but splitting off a Marine will make it pretty obvious. Kiwian, the 4th command center, almost done. More upgrades across the board. Scans for a 4th. The center 4th is spotted. Kiwian has to make a tough decision soon. Does he commit to an attack or just try to defend? So far, reaching out with a couple prongs. Nina's maxed out. No reason not to focus on aggression, or at least denying a 4th base. At least for now. This observer worth its weight in golden minerals, despite there being none on the map to scan. Chasing down Matavex. Nina has so much vision. Like, where are you gonna go? There's nowhere to go with either of these drops. Kiwian has bought himself some time, at the very least, in order to get this 4th base. Should be getting a planetary momentarily. There it is. The drops are heading out. The Stalker's not quite in position to stop them, but Kiwian's setup is strong here. There's a drop at the back of the 3rd. The cannons will slow it down. There's not enough energy for a storm. A recall must come out, and that means the double drop slips past the perimeter defense. The Stalker's looking for an opportunity, but it will head towards the main. Getting the pylon. Nina chilling in the center of the map. The recall brought a lot of units back, which takes a lot of the wind out of the sails of a potential attack. And once again, the forges are exposed. Why? Why do we build our forges in the only place on the map you can reliably drop? Meanwhile, both upgrades sniped, denied, again. The Templar Archives targeted, denied, again. But the 4th base slammed. Meanwhile, Nina coming in. Disruptor looking for an opportunity. Curves into the bio. But this is maybe reaching too far. Nice Disruptor hit, but the EMPs are going to help out. No Storm. No +2. No +2 attack. No +3 armor. They have to be restarted. Where will they be restarted? This time we're going to be like 4 inches further into the main. Sure, why not? That's a place for them. Kiwian, by sniping these upgrades now twice, has put himself right back in it. It looked for a time like Nina would have the overwhelming force to just run Kiwian over. Between the upgrades, the unit composition, the multiple forms of splash damage, and just the sheer supply. But that time has now passed. The 4th base went down. Kiwian still kind of struggling to get his economy on stable footing, but he has maxed out. He's now got +2, +1, evened out the upgrades. He's got ghosts and tanks and Vikings. Oh my. EMPs across the board here. It looks like the Colossi just want to go for it. The depot wall helped me out a lot, but the command center itself is vulnerable. Unfortunately, sniped off the Disruptor. The Vikings getting in the mix. There are no more Disruptors here. There's no more splash damage. Kiwian drawing some shots. More EMPs across the front. The last Colossus. Knockdown. Disruptors save the day. Kiwian loses a base, but wins a battle. I'm not sure where that leaves us in the total trades. But here we are. Nina able to rebuild. She's got 11 gateways, +2 attack and +3 armor on the way. Second try. Disruptors. EMP does not interrupt disruption. Purification Nova. We'll see maybe some Liberators to help zone out those disruptors, or at least more tanks. Kiwian not maxed out. He's just got a large army supply. The medevacs are out of energy. Disruptor, exploratory shot, forcing a siege. These observers see everything. The problem is that Kiwian keeps taking good fights. This is the main command center. It's not a planetary, which means these SCVs are going to have a terrible day. Disruptors, a nice healthy chunk there. And more SCVs going down. A handful of Marines aren't going to save anything. Where are the reinforcements? There are none. Oh, some curveballs looking for opportunities. Kiwian moving forward. There's no units to stop this. Another disruptor. Kiwian starting to bleed out units. Those tanks on the high ground. So important. The SCV count is plummeting. There's almost nothing to stop these zealots because the economy was already shattered. Another big hit into the Marauders. The Disruptors, a round of charge lots. Disruptor center mass. GG, Nina, 2-1. Despite a rocky road getting here, that one zealot run by, eventually losing the bases, came to fruition. Holding the line. Kiwian not able to break through. And Nina takes it. Maybe the start of a grudge match series. What do you think? Thank you. I think it was OMG What the Fork who sponsored that, so thank you for that. And hopefully you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, ring the bell. What do you think? Did Nina only win because Kiwian was lagging? Is Protoss Imba? Should everyone build their forges just in the middle of the map to make it easier for everyone? I don't know. Leave a comment. I'm sure it'll be illustrious. Thank you for watching. Good luck.